Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today and for attending today's webinar, Luxury Vacations in Porto and the North of Portugal. My name is Ana Camerer. I work with Emerging Destinations. We are a boutique sales and marketing representation company in US and Canada, and we are proud of representing Porto and the North of Portugal Convention and Visitors Bureau in North America. On today's webinar, we will have two guests, Catia Barbosa from International Promotions at the Porto and North of Portugal Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Danilo Cerqueira, who is the founder and CEO of TempoVip DMC. So before passing everything over to them, let me just give you a few housekeeping notes about this webinar, as well as introduce briefly our portfolio of cool companies in cool places. As you can see on your screen now, those are the clients that we represent in US and Canada. We represent hotels, lodges, camps, DMCs, cruises, and a few destinations across the Africa continent, Europe, and Central and South America. Of course, I'm not presenting all of them today, but just because this webinar is about Portugal, I will just mention which other clients in the Europe continent we have in the portfolio. We represent Iceland Pro Travel DMC with offices in Reykjavik, offering amazing tailor-made itineraries for FITs and groups. So any requests you may have for Iceland, as well as for the eclipse happening in 2026, if I'm not wrong, please let us know if we can help you. And we would love to have Iceland Pro Travel working on your next itinerary around Iceland. And then the other client that we have in the Europe portfolio is Malta DMC. Again, a great company either to work on an itinerary featuring Malta as a unique destination, or a perfect extension if you have clients doing Italy. It's only 1 hour and 30 minutes ferry from Sicily. So again, please have them in mind, and we would love to have the opportunity of working with you and your clients and showing what My Malta DMC can do for you. Regarding this webinar, please note that all attendees are mute, and this webinar is being recorded. In case you have any questions, either for Catia Barbosa or for Danilo Cerqueira, you can type those questions on the control panel you have on your right. And after their presentation, time permitting, we will be asking them your questions, and they will be able to answer those live. In case we run out of time, don't worry, we have all your contact information and who asked which question. So we will make sure to send you a one-on-one email with the answer to your doubt or question. This webinar is being recorded, and we will be uploading the playback or the recording on our website, emergingdestinations.com, as well as on our YouTube channel, which I encourage you subscribe to. Last but not least, we will be sending you by the end of this week, this means on Friday, a follow-up email which will include the webinar recording, again, the PowerPoint presentation, and all contact information from Catia, as well as from Danilo. So please stay tuned and check your inbox this Friday, and you will get all information related to this webinar for you, so you can start promoting the destinations among your clientele. So I think this is all on my side. Of course, you can see on your screen now, not only the logos of the cool companies in cool places that we have in the portfolio, but also my contact information, my email address. In case you have any questions, either from visit Porto and North of Portugal Visitors and Conventions Bureau, or from any of the other clients we have in the portfolio, or in case you want to schedule a one-on-one training with you and your team, please feel free to drop me a line to anna@emergingdestinations.com. So this is all on my side. Let me pass everything over to Catia Barbosa, who is in charge of the international promotion for Porto and North of Portugal Convention and Visitors Bureau.
I think, yeah, everyone is seeing my screen. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your time. This won't take long, but I hope it's going to be very inspiration for all of you. And of course, I need to thank Danilo. Danilo Cerqueira is a very busy man, and he got the time to join us today. So thank you, Danilo. And last but not least, Anna in Emerging Destinations, of course. Thank you so much for your time and patience with us. So some of you, I'm sure some of you already joined our previous webinars, so I don't want to bother you with the same information over and over again. And hopefully some of you already been to Porto, or at least to Portugal. So I want to show you some useful information and some practical information. Let me see if this works. Yeah, I'll start to show you some information about how is the US market for Portugal and specifically for Porto and North of Portugal. So for Porto, North of Portugal, from January to May, the US market, it's the fourth external demand market for our region. The US market, it's one of our top 10 markets. It's on our strategic markets where we invest the most, and we can say that we have some results, but we want to improve those results. When it comes to the market share, so it's over 15% in overnight stays in the northern region, and we had almost 1 million overnight stays from January to May 2024. When it comes to Portugal, when compared with the same period last year, we had a growth of over 12% in tourism revenue. So it's performing very well, and hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have even better results. So just a brief note, where is Portugal? So we are this small but very rich country in Europe. Our destination, the region we represent, it's in the north of the country, and we pointed out Porto as the capital city of the north of Portugal. I'll show you just some information about the connection, airline connection. We have direct flights from over 90 cities all over the world. Of course, in Europe, it's where we have the most flights, but we also have flights to North America. I will show you some details after. South America, we have direct flights to 2 cities in Brazil. Also in Africa and Turkey. We also have some flights to Turkey that connect us with all the Asian continent. And now some details when it comes to airline connections. We have TAP Air Portugal flying to Porto, SATA, which is the Azorian Airlines, United Airlines, Air Transat. These are the ones flying directly to the American continent. But then we have connections with KLM, Lufthansa, Air France, so it's quite easy to travel to Porto and North of Portugal directly. When we speak about doing some stopovers in Lisbon, we have even more connections, and of course in many places in Europe like Frankfurt, Amsterdam, Paris, so we have many connections with European cities. When it comes to direct connections with the United States, we have weekly flights with SATA to JFK. Those flights are on Sundays. This is a seasonal flight, so they started in this June, and they will last for the IATA summer. And then we also have weekly flights on Wednesdays to Boston with the same airline company, SATA, so Azorian Airlines. When it comes to Newark, we have daily flights with TAP Air Portugal, and this is a yearly flight, and with United Airlines. As we speak, United Airlines, they have 2 flights per day. So twice a day, there are direct flights from Newark to Porto from late May. They started in late May and they will go till mid-August. So twice a day, we have direct flights from Newark to Porto. And then just starting some details about the region. So as you might understand by now, we have an international airport in Porto. It's about 20 minutes driving from the city center to the airport, so it's quite close. But we also have an international cruise terminal in Leixões, which is about, I would say, 30 minutes driving, it depends on the traffic, but about 30 minutes driving from the city center of Porto. And we also have really nice roads. It's quite easy to drive inside the region, not only inside the region, but in Portugal in general, it's quite easy to drive. And also the train, it's quite easy to travel by train. For instance, if you fly to Lisbon, it's easy to go from Lisbon to Porto in less than 3 hours by train. But focusing on our destination, Porto, north of Portugal, is a very rich destination. It seems small, but we like to say that it's cozy because from Porto to the Douro Valley, for instance, it's less than 1 hour 30 driving, but it's a completely different landscape and a completely different destination inside the same region. And when we, of course, we speak of the Douro Valley because it's the most famous, the most well-known, but we also have the cities of Braga, Guimarães, Viana do Castelo that are so close to Porto, like in less than 1 hour you can get there, but it's a completely different type of city and type of landscape that it's really worth visiting when in Porto and north of Portugal. So Portugal, it's one of the oldest countries in the world with the oldest borders. And this country was born in the north, which means that we have the biggest number of World Heritage Sites from UNESCO. The first one you see, Braga, Bom Jesus do Monte, it's a sanctuary. It's about 45 minutes driving from Porto. But then, of course, we have the historical center of Porto, the Guimarães Historical Center, which is also a city about 45 minutes from Porto. And we need to mention, of course, the Douro wine region, because it's the oldest demarcated wine region in the world. From the 18th century, it was the first demarcated wine region in the whole world. And last but not least, Coa Rock Art. It's the biggest rock art site from the Paleolithic in the world. It's a collection with over 20,000 years, so it's quite impressive to go there. But we also have, of course, the traditions. We have the carnival, the Carnaval de Pudense, it's what we call it. It's a celebration of the ending of the winter, starting of the springtime. And it's a carnival quite different from the other ones that you know. And I invite you to come during this season because it's very special. These guys are very noisy, but it's a very interesting celebration to join. And we also have, as a UNESCO immaterial heritage, the black pottery of Bisalhães. So this black pottery has its name not because it's painted, it's not painted, it's the way they cook the pottery that turns out to be black. So it's very interesting as well. As I mentioned before, we cannot talk about Porto in the northern Portugal without talking about Porto, of course. The city of Porto, it's the entrance door to the region. It's the second city of Portugal. We like to think that it's the first, but no, the capital city is Lisbon. We are the second city in the country. And it's here that you can find some like the selling points that are very important to the whole region. So when it comes to architecture, we have two Pritzker Prize architects, Souto de Moura and Cisa Vieira. They are both from Porto, and it's really easy to just walk around the city and find some buildings or some metro stations, for instance, that were built or designed by Souto de Moura and Cisa Vieira. The port wine, it's from the city of Porto, not exactly from Porto, but from the other side of the river, Vila Nova de Gaia. But it's here, and I'm keep saying here because I'm based in Porto. I forgot to mention that before. We also have the Douro River and the sea, the Atlantic Ocean. So they meet in the city of Porto in a beautiful place called Foz. And all year around there are culture and events, and it's not a boring city at all. And now I will just give you some curiosities like this one here. Did you know that Porto gave Portugal its name? Portugal comes from Porto Cale, from the city of Porto, because like I said before, the country started in the north, so Porto gave its name to Portugal. These are some curiosities because I will leave the best to Danilo after my presentation. We also have in the city of Porto the biggest synagogue in the Iberian Peninsula. It's not in the city center, but it's about 10 minutes driving from the city center near Casa da Música, the House of Music. Maybe some of you heard about it. And it's the biggest synagogue in Portugal and Spain. And there's also a very interesting museum next to it. Talking about wine, of course, we cannot mention the north of Portugal or Portugal in general without mentioning the wine. We as the Visit Porto North of Portugal, launched 2 years ago a wine tourism route. We have 4 different types of wine in our region. So everyone knows about port wine, but we also have other types of wine. We have Douro and port wine. It's one of the regions. We have Vinhos Verdes, so the green wine area. We have Trás-os-Montes, and we also have Távora Varosa wine. So these 4 wines are all different wines produced in our region. And this route is very useful because what we did, we did a route with information on wine tourism, on, for instance, wine cellars, wine tourism activities, vineyards, accommodation. So it's a place where you can easily get information about the wine tourism in the north of Portugal. When we send, or when Anna sends the follow-up email, I can send you more information about this route because this is very useful and it's not very known yet. When it comes to nature and active tourism, we also have this bridge you see in the picture, 516 Arouca is the name. This is the perfect day tour from Porto. It's only about 45 minutes driving. And this bridge, it's the second largest pedestrian suspended bridge. It's a big name, but it's a suspended bridge, and it's very interesting for the ones that like adventure to cross it, because to get there you need to do like 8 kilometers walkway, Arouca. Actually the name is Paiva Walkways, and it's very interesting to get there and then cross the bridge and see the beautiful landscape we have around the bridge. Last but not least, I would also like to mention that this piece of jewelry, filigree, it's from the north of Portugal, and there are some workshops that your clients, they can do their own filigree jewel, learn how to do it, learn more about the history of this type of. This is gold, so it's how to work on this detail, and it's very interesting to learn how to do it. And now I'll just show you a brief video of our destination. As soon as possible. Yeah, here we go.
But people like that, they are not seen anywhere else. People with passionate energy that invites us to come in and explore and savor every moment shamelessly. People with a genuine essence who embrace us with words of truth. An easy smile with a look that doesn't deceive. Eye to eye, you can really see that they are from the north.
Okay. Okay, so just to finish, I'll just leave here my email address. I hope it was useful, but I'm sure that you'll feel even more in love for Porto, North of Portugal with Danilo. So Danilo, I will give to you.
Okay, thank you, Catia. Can you hear me, by the way? Okay, great. So thank you, Catia. Thank you, Anna, for the invitation. And most of all, thank you, everybody, for taking your time to be here and for give us this half an hour of your attention. I'm Danilo Cerqueira, CEO of TempoVip DMC. Portugal, Spain, Morocco. Actually, Portugal, which was when we started, and then as a natural growth, we went to Spain and later on to Morocco. We are a company founded in 2004, so we are 20 years on the road. It's my baby. I found the company 20 years ago. Now it's a young adult, I would say. We now are 7 to 8 people spread through these 3 destination. Our main office is in Lisbon, and today we're focused in Portugal. So this is our website. Okay, so let's just keep focused on the Portuguese content. Our main office, as I said, is Lisbon, but we also have office in Porto, and we have specialist travel designers just in Porto. And as a DMC, we're in the road for so many years. You probably have heard of us, or maybe some of you even work with us. I hope so. And I could start my presentation saying that when it comes to the north of Portugal, I could say that we have the most exclusive experiences, but actually it's not about that. I could also, but that's true, right? I could also say that we have the best connection with the best tour guides, yeah, but it's not about that too. I could also say that we have connections with all the main boutique hotels and main chains and great rates, but not about that as well. Actually, what we do is about something that is very simple. I mean, we work for you, travel advisor, and what really matters for us is how we can help you tailor the real authentic experience on the destination according to what your client expect for that trip. And to achieve that, we have to redesign the whole way travel advisors and DMCs work, to redesign the client journey. And we come out to a system or to a way of working that actually allow you to have access to the information that you need when you need and nothing more than what you need. So we gave tangibility for 20 years of curating and knowing and relationship and connecting with the land all over Portugal, including the north. And now with just 2 clicks, you can reach out our whole portfolio according to your client profile. And you don't even have to know the destination. You just have to know who your client is and what they want, because regardless of what they want, we know perfectly where and how those things can happen. And that's going to be the basic of my presentation today. I will just go through very naturally some things and according to the client stereotype or the client wishes or the client's desires, okay? So more than showing the destination, I wanna show how each type of client can actually enjoy and take the most of those destinations. So our website actually was thought to be a brainstorming tool. You don't have book now buttons, you don't have pricing, it's just for give you the access to the knowledge that we have been collecting for the last 20 years. So you have several ways of exploring that. So you can go through Portugal itself, and then you're going to explore the country, and there you're going to have a section which is the northern Douro, or Porto and Douro. And when you come over here, you're going to automatically be redirected to every single city in the north of Portugal that we think deserve a closer look, and where you're going to find some amazing things for your clients. So you have, in alphabetical order, you have Amarante, you have Malamego, you have Pinhão, and then you have Porto. From there, from the Porto and north, you can also enjoy go to Santiago de Compostela and make the Portuguese Camino, which is something we have more and more people looking for. Okay, so we have the Camino that starts in Porto and do all the way through the coast in the north of Portugal until we cross to Spain, and then keep going towards Santiago de Compostela. You also have Viana do Castelo, Vila Real, Guimarães, Braga. So these are the main cities of the north. You also have a lot of amazing, beautiful options. But if we could recap, what are the key cities for traveling and where you can also stay in the north of Portugal, these 9 cities would be the chosen one. So let me show you something else. In each one of these cities, so let's go for Oporto, that's easier. When you tap here, because you want to understand a little bit more about the city, let's do a thing. Oporto is quite common, so let's see a non-city like Amarante, okay? São Gonçalo do Amarante. It's a beautiful city, okay? And right here, when you try to understand a little bit more of São Gonçalo do Amarante, you're going to have all the tours that you can do from there, and also all the experiences that you can do from Santiago do Amarante. So it's very tangible and very easy to navigate. And from here, for example, you can explore, you can stay in Amarante. They have a beautiful property there, which is a Relais Chateau. And from Amarante, you can have a very easy access either to Porto and to the Douro Valley. So if you want to escape from the crowd or from the high season in Porto city center, but you also have a last minute client trying to go to Douro Valley in September, where availability is very short right now. So they can easily stay in Amarante and from there enjoy both cities. But the truth is, once you scroll down, you have all the other cities in the north, and you keep going, exploring everything that you have. But what I think is most important, and I love it, is this little system here, call it hashtags, you know? So these hashtags basically is what your clients want to do. So whenever you come here and you want to see, for example, which experience you have a family, right? Coming to the north of Portugal. Let's do it right now. So come here to experiences and you're gonna tag family. So with 2 clicks, the website will return for you 160 options of things for you to do with family. And then you narrow down to Oporto, and you're gonna have right here 30 options for the family that you're bringing to Oporto. So for you, it's very easy when you have 30 options of high-end activities and experiences for family, and you know very well your client, to scroll down through these 30 options and realize which of them will fit better to your client. Let's see, for example, take a closer look on a cooking class in the Douro Valley. So when you click on the experience, the website will bring you to a more detailed page where you can have a better idea of what is going to happen with your client. Okay. So you have here the duration, which is 3 hours and 30 minutes. You see that can happen all year around. You have a short description, but most of all, what's very important, you have a 20-second video that was shooted with our supplier, and where you can know how sophisticated is a cooking class. You can see that it's a hands-on cooking class. The clients are not listening to someone who is talking about how they are cooking. They're actually putting their hands on if they want. If they don't want, there are staff that can support them. It's making a manor house. And then if you like what you see here, all you have to do is click on this little heart and add this item or this experience to a wish list that will reflect in the end exactly what your client wants. So we were talking about family, but what we did with family, you can do with foodie, for example, or with hiking, or with let's see, nature, for example. You come here, nature, and then you say nature in Porto and Douro. and you have 17 options for anyone who loves nature there. So you have Jeep Safari, you can have a convertible car visiting the vineyards in the Douro Valley, Art Chavega, bike tours, private vintage boats, winery visits, and whenever you want to have more details, you can just click, or if you like what you see, just click on the little heart and add this to a wish list that afterwards will represent the perfect match between what you know about your clients and what we have been curating through 20 years with local expertise on the destination. So when you send this wish list for us, instead of working on based on our imagination and our creativity, we're going to take this information that is gold for both of us, and we're going to work on the itinerary based on this. So when we send the itinerary for you, it will not reflect only our imagination and expertise on the ground, but will represent the intersection between what your clients want and where and how those things can happen according to our curation, according to our expertise, and according to our knowledge on ground. So even when we talk about hotels, for example, you can come here to all the hotels. And if you want to know what's up, what's going on, there's small properties that are under the radar. Everybody knows Six Senses, everybody knows the Yatman, but what about all the other beautiful small properties that we have in the Porto and Douro that deserve to be seen and to be looked at? So you come here, you select hotels and come to Porto and Douro, and you automatically have our curation. I have personally been in each one of these hotels, and everything that you have here, regardless if they are 5 stars or 4-star plus, which are the niche where we work, they're all gonna deliver an amazing experience for your clients. So you have from the well-known Six Senses Yatman or Le Monumental Palace until Vinha Boutique Hotel or Torel Palace or the Torel Suites or Quinta da Pacheca Winery Barrels, which is a lovely place for Instagrammers. That's very, on the fashion house, on the heat now. You literally sleep into some barrel wines. As an example of all the other activities, we also have a beautiful video of 20 seconds that gives you a very clear idea of what we are offering for your clients, where they're going to sleep, and how going to be their experience on the destination. So it's much easier for you to realize if this will be a good fit for your clients or not. All of this is on your fingertips. It is not required username or password. It's just like a tool where all of our knowledge is accessible for any of you, regardless of you wants to buy something with us or not. But I think that as long as you know well your client, you have here a great source of curated content for luxury travel in a port in the north of Portugal. Okay, so let me show you how we are going to present to you our itineraries. And for this, I'm going to use an itinerary that we use it for a fan trip in the port in the north of Portugal. So we're going to have site inspection listed and something because it was a real itinerary that's put together for a fan trip. Okay, all of our itinerary is white label. That's why here you see visit to Porto in the north, and here you would see your logo and your logo of your company. Okay, you're going to receive a link, and in this link you have an overview with what you're going to do in each one of the days. We're going to go slowly through that later. There's also information about the stays. So you have the dates at the hotel, how many nights, which type of room. It's very, very well detailed. You also have a map that shows where the client is going to be during their trip. In this case, okay, in all over the north of Portugal, and all the black dots are services that we have included in the itinerary. So when you tap over it, you're gonna see what you're gonna do in this region, what day and what time. This is an all days view, but you also have only day 1 or only day 2 or only day 3, and you can see what's going to happen here and what's going to happen here, and so on and on, okay, for all the days or just like daily view, okay. And the most impressive thing that we have done that really helps you to sell and really helps your clients to have a better experience while they're buying something with all of us happens right here on the itinerary tab. And what happens here on the itinerary tab? I showed you this beautiful website, and here you could just go through all the experiences and tours and itineraries and hotels and make the wish list that reflects what your clients want. But when I put together the itinerary, you still have to tell your client why you chose those options. So you have to know something about the product before you send it for them. Otherwise, you won't be able to sell the package and sell the itinerary for the client. So we realized we had to find a tool that allow us to put the selling arguments, all the right selling arguments for that product in front of the client, so they can have by themselves all the information needed to feel confidence to book. And how we solved this, we did 40-second videos with the story selling of the product, so the client could decide by themselves if they want to or not. So I'll give you an example of a sidecar tour in Porto, where people, I mean, some of them might feel comfortable with the sidecar, other ones might not know how it works. So here you have the story selling. You see that's a safety. Everybody could have a helmet. One goes in the back of the motorcycle pilot. Another one goes on the side. They're gonna tour through some narrow streets of the city, places where normally tourists do not go, with few stops among that. The truth is, 40 seconds after they start to see the video, they know exactly what we are preparing for them. So their decision, if they want to do that or if they don't want to do that, is much, much faster and much more accurate with what will be the actual reality, because the shooting here was made in Porto in a real condition, and everything that is yet to see on this video is what's going to happen with the client when they are there. So we're making their life easier, we're giving them more information, we are aligning their expectation with the reality, and we're helping them to take a better and faster decision. One thing here is very, very important, which is they are not looking at random videos, they are looking at the videos of the activities that you told me first place they would like to do when they are here, because when you were selecting on the wish list, your only concern was defending the best option for your clients. So on this fan trip, we were going a little bit off the beaten track, I would say. So you have a lot of activities that are not for first-timers clients, that are activities for people who have been here, who have very specific interest in something specific. But we also put in the mix on something that are very well known and that are very well that are desired for many, many clients. So it's also very packed. So this would not be a regular itinerary because it's a inspection, it's a fan trip. But I can give you an example. For example, can give you an example of a winery that we do in the Douro River that is aligned with most of the wineries that we have. So we're talking about small wineries. This is the Quinta da Pacheca, it's the same one that have the barrels. So, and once you're there, everything that we do is private. The client feel very comfortable. They can put all the questions. All the visits are tailored to their specific needs and knowledge. Some people know more about the wine, other one only know about how to drink. So regardless of their knowledge profile, we always tailor everything. And that's why we prefer to go for these small properties where they have personalized attention and where everything can be really tailored on real time to their level of interest and knowledge about in this case, about the wine. Okay. So when we finish this, oh, by the way, I'm clicking on the videos that I have on the presentation. Okay, so everything that you see here will be going with any itinerary that we do for your clients. Hotel Casas do Corvo. Sorry, I'm looking for something specifically. Okay, a riverboat. Vidago Palace is a beautiful virtuoso hotel in a little bit more into the countryside of the north of Portugal. They have an amazing golf course. It's a very well-known destination for golfers as well. Okay. But the most important of everything is, as I told you, regardless of me talking about this or that, I want to just finish my presentation, let you know that this hashtag represents your client's profile, and regardless of what they want, I can show you exactly where and how those things can happen, and using your knowledge and our knowledge to come up with something really incredible for all of your clients. So I hope that you thought this is useful for you, and I'll be available, me and my team, for whenever you need our information to put together some beautiful things for your clients in Porto, north of Portugal.
Thank you, Danilo, for your presentation. Let me, oops. Sorry, I didn't mean to show the video again. So thank you for your presentation, Danilo. Thank you also, Catia, for your introduction about Porto and the north of Portugal. We have a few questions now on the control panel. So I know that we are running out of time, but I want to make sure that we are answering the questions that we have here. So the first one, what do you think of the wines of wine Porto to visit?
World of Wine, sorry?
What do you think of World of Wines Porto
no.
to visit?
It's a World of Wine. Wow,
okay.
Wow. It's a cultural district with 7 different museums. One, it's actually they don't call it museums, they call it experiences. One, it's the wine experience, but they have others. They have the cork experience, the chocolate factory experience. They have several different themes, and they also have several restaurants, 9 or 10 restaurants. It's a beautiful place. It's a place that allows you to learn more about the history and culture of not only Porto and the north, but all Portugal. And if you are interested in the wines, the wine experience, it's a great place to start to learn more about the Portuguese wines, to do your own, to know which type of wine you are. So it's very interactive. It's good for families. It's good for adults. It's good for young people. It's a really good place to go. And top of all, we have a great view to Porto, because World of Wine, wow, it's located in Vila Nova de Gaia, in the other side of the river. And when you are there, you have beautiful views to the city of Porto. So it's a yes, of course. Yes.
Awesome, thank you. Then the second question we have here, where can we find the wine road?
The wine route, it's it's Porto and North wine tourism route. I can send you the link by email, and then if you could share with everyone, it will be easier. Yes.
Yes, I will include that on the follow-up email on Friday, of course.
Thank you.
Then the other one, Arouca. How long did you say it is? How long does it take to walk? Do you walk one way? Is there a shuttle return?
Okay, so first, it takes about 45 minutes to drive from Porto to Arouca, okay? And then the walkways, it's 8 kilometers. If you want to go and come back, then it will be 16. But 8 kilometers, it's really up to you and how used you are to walk. It can be a one way. They don't have shuttle bus, but there's always taxis waiting for people to take them back, so it's okay. But there are also, and Danilo can help me with that, there are also tours from Porto that can organize this and do it on a one-day tour from Porto without just going there by yourself. Because, for instance, going there by public transport, it's not very easy. So it's easier to go there on an organized tour or just rent a car and go there. There was a third question, wasn't it?
Yes, no, if there is a shuttle return.
Yeah, no shuttle, but yeah. there are taxis, yes.
Awesome. Then I have a question for Danilo. Do you sell a la carte or only a full itinerary?
Okay, we are a full service agency, so we prefer to sell a full itinerary. But once we have regular clients, for sure we are here for whatever they need. So if they need just a transfer, we're gonna be here for transfer. But before we have this relationship, we want to make sure that we take the full itinerary from the beginning to the end. And doing just one tour or two tours is an exception. It's not the way we work.
Awesome. Thank you, Danilo. And then I will ask the last 2 or 3 questions. Is there a particular winery that makes green wine? Can you give any recommendation? And also, if it's available to order green wine in any bar or restaurant?
Starting with the last question, yes, it's easy to find green wine, vinho verde, in any restaurant in Porto, in the north, in Portugal in general. It's a beautiful wine, very light. Asking me to choose a green wine, it's like a Sophie's choice. I cannot do it. There are so many vineyards, and then it really depends on what you are looking for, because the green wine area, it's the biggest wine region in the north of Portugal. I can mention 2 properties, different ones. One of those properties, Danilo will just show it on the presentation, which is Monverde. It's about 45 minutes driving from Porto. It's near Amarante. And it's a beautiful property, and it's a green wine state. They produce wine, and it's a beautiful hotel there. But I can also mention Terra Rosa wine. It's a bit difficult. Terra Rosa country wine hotel. It's a small property with only 7 rooms, and they also produce green wine. So these could be 2 different options. But green wine, there are so many green wines, very good. Avleda, it's another one which is very good, not far from Porto as well. And it's the perfect stop from Porto to the Douro Valley. You can just stop in Avleda, Quinta da Avleda, on the way to the Douro Valley, because though it's the green wine, it's on the way to the Douro Valley, so it could be another option. We can do just a webinar on green wines. It's a very big wine region, and with so many options.
Great. Then I have a question from Sandy. Doesn't the Camino de Santiago pilgrimage begin in Porto, or is it another sort of Camino?
No, the Camino can start in Porto. It's possible. There are different ways. And I think that what Danilo mentioned was that it was that the Portuguese Camino, right?
Portuguese Camino, yeah. That's why I mentioned that Porto you have a Camino that starts in Porto. So for the clients who wants to do Camino, it's a 160 kilometers, something around 80 miles. That can be done in 6 to 7 days, depending on the physical condition of the client. And we always have a specialist guide in Camino going with the client if they wish. And there are several ways of doing that. Hotels are really a challenge. So whoever wants to do the Camino have to realize there will not be proper hotels on the way. They just have like good places to rest and good food to eat along the way, that's for sure, but not really the most luxurious hotel offer. And they can also, if they want to do everything only on the way, they only have the small, very small, tiny host houses. But if they want to stay in the hotel, then we have a car that will pick them up and make the transfer from wherever they're stopping until the hotel, and the next day the same way back to where they stopped, so they can keep walking and do the whole Camino.
There are, and let me just mention that there are different Caminos from Porto. The most famous one nowadays, it's the one through the coast, because it might be the easiest one, because it's quite flat to walk, but there are other Caminos. When we talk about the Camino, there's not only one Camino. There are different ways to get to Santiago. Okay.
Awesome, thank you. And then I have the two last questions to Danilo before we wrap up this webinar session. The first one is from Laura, and are you or your team doing like Zoom calls or presentations with travel advisors together with their final client, or how do you organize that in case they need like?
For sure, for sure. I'll keep with the example of the Camino, or when it implies special needs. Camino is going to be 7 days walking, so the guide have really to know who they will be with before they get there, to understand the physical conditions and what are the expectations and everything. So always when it's not standard, we do that under request. So, but whenever the travel advisor feel that they'll be more comfortable if there is a meeting between my team, the consulting team, with the client. We just set up a Zoom call and we can do that any day. So it's not really a big problem. And by the way, I'm always available as well. So whenever you need us, you just have to drop us a line or send a WhatsApp, and we're going to be there for you.
Okay, thank you, Danilo. And then just to clarify, the website that you were showing us, it's like it's an open website. It's not that travel advisors need to register on an agent portal or something like that, right?
No, yeah, I like to call it a brainstorming tool, because although it's a website, was not made to sell anything. It was the whole design thinking of the website was, how can I make our knowledge available for the travel designers when they need that, and just the amount of information that they need. So the whole design thinking of the website, the brainstorming tool, is this one. And that's why also there's no reason for us to give username and password, because information and knowledge is good when it's shared, and we want to share the best that Portugal have with everybody, and it's right there for anyone who wants to use it. It's updated every single year. We have a team of tour guides that is internal tour guides. There are 10 in total, and during the high season they're out there working, and then we have to hire more tour guides, and during the low season they're updating all the information just to make sure that whatever you have access to is updated with something that was happening 2 weeks ago and not 2 years ago.
Awesome. And it's TempoVip.com, right?
TempoVip.com. That's it. We are, by the way, we are Virtuosos, Ensemble, Select. So all the major consortia we belong to, and that's why we can guarantee in the hotels all the perks, amenities, and the support that those networks can deliver for the client.
Great. Well, I think this is the end for our training session today, Luxury Vacations in Porto and North of Portugal. Thanks a million, Catia Barbosa, International Promotion for Porto Convention and Visitors Bureau, and Danilo Cerqueira, founder and CEO of TempoVip, for being such an amazing presenters. I'm ready to travel to Porto, and I'm sure all travel advisors here, they are ready also, not only to travel, but also to start selling the destination in case they haven't started yet. So once again, thank you for your presentation. To our travel advisors connected today, thank you for your time. Thank you for your interest. I hope you can give Porto and TempoVip a try, and we can host you and your clients very soon in this beautiful destination. And remind that this Friday you will get your follow-up email, which will include this presentation, Katia's PowerPoint presentation, a link to the video she showed, and also more information, not only from Porto Convention and Visitors Bureau and her contact information, but also TempoVip website and contact information in case you have any requests already for TempoVip. So once again, thank you for being today, and please stay tuned, check your inbox, and in the meantime, I invite you to visit emergingdestinations.com and our YouTube channel, Emerging Destinations, where you will be able to find this playback very soon. Thank you and have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.